fire in the crawl space or something like that down in Salters Point. And we showed up. It was me, you, and Jonathan Tinsley. And the lady asked when the real fire department was going to show up.
Yeah. On this episode of the PsychoHERO podcast, we're joined again by my longtime friend Noah Tchobanoff. The last episode we recorded, which was almost 4 hours long, was ruined by the weather, the rain, in the middle of summer. I've known Noah since our parents did co-op preschool stuff at Oberlin Church way back in the early 80s. Noah and I came up in the fire service via Steilacoom Fire. We were volunteer firefighters together with Steilacoom Department of Public Safety back in the early 2000s, before both of us moved on to professional careers elsewhere. Noah is currently an operations captain with Central Pierce Fire and Rescue, and he's married to a wonderful, lovely wife, Amy, and they have 2 grown sons, Luke and Seth, who are wonderful young men. And last but not least, his favorite movie is The Empire Strikes Back. That's a good movie. But his favorite antagonist is me. We operated and moved in completely different ways, but we always had one thing in common: a relentless commitment to flawless execution of the mission. Enjoy this Steilacoom edition.
Go ahead, engine 25.
125 is arriving. 2-story, single-family residence. Appears to be working its way inside. We'll be tracking with an engine 3/4 line. We have our own water supply.
Okay, here we are. Before we get started, we got to tag in.
Oh,
Passport in. Throw your tag on there.
there we go.
I'll throw mine on here. The upside down is the driver.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're driving today.
you're in charge.
Oh,
You're in the right seat.
copy
We're
that.
going that way.
Yeah,
Well, this is accountability.
love it.
Accountability to each other.
Perfect.
That's the way we've always operated.
Yes, we have. All right.
Cool. Now that we're tagged in, we're back.
This is on?
It's on.
It's on.
It's on. We're going. Turn my phone off. Okay, well, here's the trial run of the new space. The intimate space. This is the peek inside my brain.
It's a deep dive inside your brain, Earl.
I told you, I brought Amber in here like when I had got pretty much everything situated, and she's like, oh wow, there's a lot going on in here. I was like, well, yeah, this is like it's like taking a little field trip into my brain. This is pretty much how my brain operates all the time. All these things they're ruminating in there all the time. So
Yeah, it's like a library of superhero and fire department stuff all smashed together,
mm-hmm.
and a little bit of other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
I like it.
little psychology here now, and that's the new. I guess that's the new thing that gets cataloged with all this. So here we are.
Well, thanks for having me, Earl. Thanks for
man.
inviting me. Invite me back.
I know. So when I make this one, when I edit this one, I'm gonna try to actually take clips from our last
Cool.
time we were together.
Okay.
The context, we'd lose the context because we have some good stories.
And we cleared that call, and I don't know how or why we heard Tacoma, if maybe we were scanning Tacoma's dispatch as well, But somehow, anyways.
And there's some volume issues.
Yeah, but they also have to be.
Or some sound issues.
Yeah.
That, and then I think it was raining too.
It was raining.
Processing chamber, or if I just need to cry a whole bunch of, like, a bucket of tears or whatever.
Yeah, it was raining.
Yeah. Well, I remember saying, like, I guess, just trying and seeing what happens, but like, failure is okay, because that's how we grow.
That's how you get better.
And that was a pretty good failure, though. So
I had a good time.
well, we sat there for like almost 4 hours talking, and then to not be able to recover any of that was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
lessons are being learned here.
yeah. But it was fun.
And I'm sure there will be something with this too, but like, we have to do it to learn, right?
Yep,
Like we
exactly. You got to start somewhere.
That's the first place I really understood that was like literally on the drill ground or at the academy, right?
Okay.
Like, you're being told to do something. You're like, well, I don't have a chance to like think about this because I got to go do it. So let's just go do it. And whatever happens is going to happen. And
Yeah.
fortunately in the training setting, you get critiqued afterward. I mean, we do it in
Sure.
the real stuff too, but in the training setting, it's a little bit safer, but
Yeah, you get the feedback, and
hopefully it's
tried again.
constructive feedback and not just angry, arbitrary feedback. But
Yeah. Well, that's a place that I think, just in general, the fire service has really grown. And I would just say, from my experience, is that it used to be, you did terrible. This is where you messed up. Now pack up your stuff and go back to the station because you're terrible.
Yeah.
Right. And now there's a lot more like constructive feedback, even though sometimes it can be, feel like it did prior to, but usually there's much more engagement through the process, and like, hey, this is where you can improve. Let's try it, especially if it's on the drill ground. There's usually an opportunity to try it again, right? And not just pack up stuff and go home, and then you're like, man, I never got to practice this the right way. And one of the Puyallup extrication team, that was one of the first like areas that I really realized that there was a different way to train, and they did it different from my first experience with them. And it was always, they had some, like, one of the instructors with you, like, did you consider this? Did you see this? What do you think about this? Right? Just offering opportunities to succeed while doing it, instead of just failing and trying to learn from the failures. And I think we can, obviously learn from our failures, but there's huge upside to practicing it correctly.
Yeah.
And learning from that still, right? And that was one of the things that honestly, it was probably one of the first times that I was like, oh, there's a different way to train. And like the Jeff Pughs, the Frank Nauberts, the Mark Beals, in those situations really like offer you the opportunity to learn it right and to practice it right, and to have some minor failures, but nothing that's critical. And instead of practicing it wrong, now you're practicing it right, and now you're even more confident to go out there and do it right the next time. So I think I've noticed that in my career.
Yeah.
That there's been a huge change in the attitude of training.
I think, just listening to you share that, I think two things. One is, like, I feel like I've been away from the fire service for a minute, so it definitely seems like there's a different rhythm and pulse to it now than there was when I left. But even when I left, it was, I think we were trending in the right direction in many ways, and that was one of the things that I thought. I never liked how, like, probationary firefighters were just treated like garbage, or recruits were, just yelled at and screamed at until they did it right or whatever. But when I really had an opportunity to reflect on that was actually with parenting. And it's ironically, I was with Kaylee the other day, and we pulled Bear out of school, and we went and had a meeting with him to try to course correct some stuff.
Sure.
And the thing that her and I realized while we were talking to Bear is like, there's a lot of things that we wish that we would have done differently with our daughters, particularly with Anna. And yet we were operating with what we knew how to operate with.
Absolutely.
At the time. Right. So there's that, but then there's also this, like, what I've realized is if I can get my kids to buy in to something that I need them to buy into, rather than just, to them it's going to seem arbitrary, but to just demand it, like an arbitrary demand, like because I'm the parent, I said so. Like, you don't need a reason. I was like, I like providing the reason, because if I can give my son a reason as to why I need him to do something a certain way, if he understands, oh, this is about my own safety and well-being, then he's much more inclined to buy into that process and then develop his own ownership of it that I can't teach. Like, he has to find that on his own. So like you're saying with the PXC guys, like whispering in the ear or whatever, like that sounds like Mike McDonald stuff, the Seahawks, that's so right on.
It is.
Because if you understand what you're doing and you're able to learn along the way, you're buying into the process. You're understanding the whys.
Right.
We don't want to operate just as robots.
Right.
We want to operate with intention.
Yeah. And I think there's a difference too from like just a generational difference in where we did a lot of things based out of because we were told to, right?
Yeah.
And now there's the generation now really wants to understand the why, right? And that's important to get the buy-in, to get the reasoning behind it, to get the why should I be doing this? And a lot of times they really, I would say, seem to understand it better than like maybe I did, because I just knew to do A, then B, then C, and they're understanding why are you even starting at A?
Yeah. So
then they understand B and C as well, right? And one of the things you're talking about parenting, and my kids are 18 and 20, right? And man, one of the things that I realized way too late in my parenting was that that stuff from work, stuff from the station, doesn't always translate well to home, right? I didn't learn that till later, way later. But when I learned that, I also realized that stuff that works at home always translates to the station. Always does.
That's true.
And man, what a realization for me as a parent. I thought it was both ways, right? And so a lot of times I would bring stuff home from work. Why is this chart not working? Why is this checklist not working? But then you take like how you interact with your family, with your wife, with your kids, and how you treat people, and how you kind of get buy-in at home, and you take that and you apply that at work, man, it always works.
I think it's moving with love.
Yeah.
Like if you move with love, like I care about you succeeding. Yeah. We certainly care that way towards our children. Yeah. Right. And not saying that our work people are our children, but once I got promoted, I'm sure your crew kind of feels like your kids in a way, regardless of age, but you're trying to keep things from getting too out of line or whatever, but also like you're trying to grow and develop. Right?
Yep, absolutely.
And to have the humility to be like, I want you to be a captain one day, but I want you to be a better captain than me. Yeah. I want my son to be way better than me. Yeah. Right. You want your sons to be better than you. Yeah. that's foreign to what we came into.
Yeah.
What we came into is very, you don't think unless I tell you to.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what to think.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, like, going back to volunteering at Steilacoom, and I know that's, I know we talked about this a lot last time, and I love talking about it because I look back on those 7 years that I spent at Steilacoom as a volunteer, as part of, like, the best of my career in the fire service. I mean, I've loved working at CP for the last 22 years, and that's been great. But there's something different about the time that we had at Steilacoom, with the different people that were there. And I think, to your point, the caring, like, there was the caring for the membership of the volunteers at Steilacoom, because it was a really tight group. And then there was also just, like, the shared community that we all had,
For sure.
for kids that grew up in Steilacoom, right? And then other kids, other people that were volunteers at Steilacoom that grew up in Steilacoom, and there were other people that came to Steilacoom for whatever reason that really enjoyed the town. And then there are people that came to volunteer there and kind of were like welcomed into that culture. But like, going back to training, when we did, like, we were looking at the pictures over here, like Saturday drills and Thursday night drills. We didn't always do it perfectly, right? But there was what we had, and we had to, like, make sure to the best that we could that we were all trained up as best as we could be, because that was all that we had. There wasn't another company that was going to come in and handle this, whatever the incident was for us. Right? It was us as the group of volunteers that was there to do the best that we could with what we had, with the training that we were provided and the equipment that we were given. And we all were invested in both the volunteering aspect and then also the service to the community, because Steilacoom's a small community, and it always has been, probably always will be. And it was a really great opportunity to participate, to give back to the community, to learn, to grow, and then to have all that. Honestly, just to have the opportunity, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, looking back on that now, that was a crazy opportunity. Like, we're 18, 19-year-old kids, and they're like, here's the keys.
Pretty much, like, given a whole battalion to just go play with.
Yeah. Here's 2 fire engines and an aid unit. Like, have a great time.
And if one of you wants to drive around in 4844 and play command, you can do that too.
Dude, I was just like, to be given what we had was incredible. And to have the support of, and I know this was another thing we talked about, Cindy Fajardo. And it's been great. I've had a couple opportunities to run into her recently, and it's so much fun to see her and talk to her and just thank her. Like, the best boss that I've ever had was when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We were lucky to get that example too, right?
Unbelievable, right? To have that.
To know what it feels like to work for a good boss.
Absolutely. And to have the level of trust that she gave us when she didn't owe us anything, to be able to come in and to trust some kids, literally kids, to do a good job, to help her achieve what the goals that she wanted to achieve, to be part of the system that she was developing, and not just be like, the adults are talking, how about you guys just pipe down a little bit and wait your turn, was awesome. And it's fun that it's fun to talk to her, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to see my kids are doing good."
Yeah.
You know, so that's always fun. But having the responsibility that was entrusted with us for a long time at Steilacoom was great. And I think you talk about ownership, right? Like, I don't know that outside of my family, I don't know that I've felt that level of ownership almost over anything, you know?
I agree.
And to have the impact in the community, you know, and
a community that we know really well.
Yeah.
That we've grown up literally been a part of since almost birth. You know?
Yeah. When you grow up someplace, you stay someplace. You go K through 12 in the same place. You deliver paper. You know, you have a paper out in the neighborhood. You know, even for as transient as a lot of places are, you know, it's incredible that Steilacoom is such a wonderful community of people that it's just a great place to live. And you know, to have to be blessed to have neighbors that you know who they are. Like, you know their name. They just come over to you. Like, my neighbor I was outside mowing the yard this morning, and my neighbor just came over. And that was, you know, it was great. And
that also, to flip that a little bit, it made it hard too, though, right? Because we saw bad things happen to people that we knew.
Yeah, for sure.
And I actually continued that trend by going out to DuPont. I continued to see people that I knew. I think about that all the time. Like, that might have been one thing that would have been good for me to go work somewhere else that wasn't, you know, seeing people that I know. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But it does, like, I'm sure you do this too. Like, you drive around town, you're like, I did CPR in that house. We had a fire in that house. You know, like, you can recall these things, but in many of those instances, you know exactly who that person is too. Yeah.
There were quite a few times, especially for me personally. It was people that I delivered newspapers to. You know, because I had, like, the Old Town out to Sunnyside Beach area, right?
The whole Salters area.
Yeah, and that's like people. The people stay in those neighborhoods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then to transition into responding for, you know, emergency calls, absolutely. Absolutely, there was differences in that, and challenges in that. But then I remember this was another one of the stories we had talked about was that sometimes people knew us, and then sometimes people didn't know us. And I remember going to this little, I don't even if it was like a fire in the crawl space or something like that down in Salters Point. And we showed up. It was me, you, and Jonathan Tinsley. And the lady asked when the real fire department was going to show up.
Yeah, we got that a few times.
And it was like, hold on a second, you know. You can call 911 back if you want to, and we're just going to come back. We'll get another.
We can go.
Yeah, we'll get another $5. So please call back. Right? I thought that was sometimes getting that, and as you know, as a you know, when we're 20 years old in that range, showing up to somebody's house, I'm sure.
Well, at the same time, we were 20 years old, but like I remember the first, I don't know, 20 calls or something I went on, I was like, am I really allowed to be doing this? Like, am I you're trusting me to be the one taking care of you? And I don't even know how to take care of myself that well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was thinking too, though, like, for all the freedom and grace we were given by like Fajardo and even Drzezinski, we also lived through and performed based on the scrutiny that we received, like that. Like, when's the real fire department going to show up?
Oh yeah.
Or like, we don't want Lakewood coming in and fixing our problem for us. So we had a bit of pressure too that made us keep our shit tight. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want anybody talking shit about us. I wanted us to be able to perform with anybody at any time. Yeah. No matter who was getting paid what. And then $5 wasn't much pay. But like,
no, I agree. I think just in general, when I say we, I mean like the volunteer group at Steilacoom. We kind of set our own bar.
Yes.
You know?
Well, we had scrutiny from the PSOs too, right? Not all of them. Some of them were very supportive, but others not so much, you know? Yeah. Yet at the same time, they couldn't change out of their police gear and put their fire gear on fast enough to do anything. So some of them didn't even carry their fire gear with them or know where it might be.
Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, we were talking about learning before, but like the training, the learning from doing it right, the learning from putting in the effort, but then also the learning from failure. You know, we had that opportunity, and it was relatively a safe space to fail and learn from. But I mean, I remember when I first started, guys were coming to calls and they didn't even have any uniform on, not even a t-shirt on, right? And it was like, well, this doesn't work, right? Like, they don't even know who you are walking through the door.
Yeah.
And then there was that was when like the responding to the scene from home kind of stopped. Yeah. Where you responded to the station.
Sure.
And I remember it just kind of, you know, it's just one thing built on another thing, and it was like, dude, you got to wear a t-shirt.
Yeah. For volunteers, we had a sense of professionalism.
Absolutely.
And expectations that, like, even once I got that union sticker on my car, I'm like, I still couldn't quite replicate that. Like, we really owned what we were trying to, the product that we were putting out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for like we were talking about the jumpsuits before, right? From wearing jumpsuits, so it was quick to put on, but also look professional.
And how many times were we the bad guy when we would go to one of the volunteers and be like, "Hey, can you wear a t-shirt on the next call or something? Like, just put your bunker bottoms on. Have a t-shirt, but like, we need to show up." And it was probably those calls where like, when's the real fire department? Like, I don't want to hear that. Yeah. I want you to think the real fire department is here, because guess what? We're doing the same job. Yeah. Like, the fire's not going to scrutinize or discriminate against like, I'll hold back a little bit because these guys are only getting $5 for this call. Yeah. No. The job was the job. Yeah. And I think we did a great job. I think we really emphasized through even like drill nights. I remember we wore uniforms to drill nights, right? And then we switched out if we were going to do, and we changed out if we were going to do, you know, drills with our gear on, or if it was classroom, you know, whatever it was. But I remember even we would do like some like uniform type inspections. We'd make sure we got the rigs checked, start drill, you know, cleaned up, and then we clean up, just not make a mess. But yeah, that was always like everyone in the group had bought into either participation or trying to also make it better, right? How they can help to make it better. And sometimes it kind of waxed and waned a little bit, but for the most part, you know, I think we're just on this trajectory of improving, and standards going up, and everybody getting better. And we started like, we wanted people to have certain certifications, whereas before it was like, just whatever, fill out an application as long as you're not a criminal. Yep. You can do the thing. Yeah, and we were able to participate with the West Side Recruit Academy. We got to go up to North Bend 4+ times a year. Bro, I went. It was like 6 years in a row or something. I don't think I missed a trip to North Bend. Yeah, I was up there. So I did. Yeah, I did more live fire training there than I ever did in any other time in life. 100%. Yeah, I mean, easily, because the West Side did the quarterly up there.
West Side Group did quarterly up there. Plus we got to do
Plus we'd go up with
the Recruit Academy.
Classes, yeah.
Yep. And then it always seemed like Tracy Lyon had something else going on that we could jump into.
He's like up there full time
up
now.
there, yeah. And so that was great. That was incredible to be able to have that ability and flexibility to do that within that system. And then
Which is fun too. Like there were times where we would literally drive police cars up to
there,
go do fire training.
Yeah, I remember
We would do police pursuits on the road. You know, once you get off the highway, you know, the windy road.
the windy road up off 90 up there.
Like police. We'd turn on all our lights and do police pursuits up the road.
And I think I remember. I know we talked about this too, and I'm sure I've told you this story 1,000 times. But I remember when I was 18 and started in Steilacoom, started volunteering in 97, and I had my interview, and they're like, "Yeah, man, thanks for, we really need help. We need volunteers. Here's a T-shirt. Here's a pager. Here's some bunker gear. Here's a T on your helmet.
Yeah.
When this thing goes off, come to the station."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Sweet, right? This is all I gotta do. Sign, like, all right, I'm down." Like at that point, I had some first aid training through Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
And that was about it. Right?
Give me my cape.
And I was like, "Sweet, awesome." And then, I was at my folks' house, just a block from the station.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Pager goes off. It's totally scared me, right? Go sprinting down to the fire station. The aid unit's pulling out. And it was Paul McNeil, and who was the other dude? And Paul McNeil was like, man, he worked for the public safety department, but he was like a volunteer. I don't know. It was, but he wasn't a public safety officer. He was like an analyst or I don't know what it was. I don't remember his position, but anyways, he was pulling out, and there was, what was that guy's name? I think it was Malone, last name Malone. Anyway, pulling out in the old 8 unit, 4832.
The white and
orange one and blue. Mm-hmm. And I go running up to it, and they roll down the window, and I'm like, "Hey, my name's Noah. I'm a new volunteer here. Do you guys need help on this call?" And the dude rolls up the window, and they drive away, and they didn't say a word to me.
"Hey, wait! I'm coming!" "No way! Left out me? What am I supposed to do?"
And I was like, I just was standing there. I was like, I'm 18 years old. These guys apparently don't want my help. They said they needed some help. I was told the whole thing, but maybe I shouldn't go on, like, maybe I shouldn't do this, right? If this is how it is going to go. And then I decided I was going to try and go on one more call. And when it went off the next time, and I remember going and carrying some bags, and that was it. And it was awesome. And I was like, okay, all right, well, I'll just keep doing this. And then, somebody showed me how to take a blood pressure and check vital signs. And so then I would carry bags and check vital signs. And then it just kind of went from there. But I guess from that experience, I realized, like, I'm not really trained to do anything. And so I really want to get some training. And then the other part of that was I didn't want to treat people in that way, right?
Yeah.
Because I wanted them to come back. Yeah. And I knew that I almost didn't come back.
Yeah.
And this was after how I got interested in the fire service was we had to do a job shadow for high school, right? And so Mark Tinsley was gracious enough to, I asked Jonathan, I said, "Dude, do you think your dad will let me go with him to work?" And because my dad did like computers and telecom stuff, and I was like, I don't really think that would be super interesting. I've been to his work a bunch of times, and so I thought this at least would be entertaining. and I go ride with Mark Tinsley at Station 22 in Lake City, and we didn't run one call the whole day. And I walked out of there and I was like, dude, this is so awesome. I got to do this.
Yeah.
I got to do this. I was so pumped up. And that I just, as soon as I was 18, put in my application there at Steilacoom and just went through the process and kept coming back on calls and really enjoyed it. And that was so much fun. What was, I mean, because you started in 98? It was a year. It was like a year or two after me.
It was a few years after you. I don't know if you remember. Well,
We talked about this, yeah.
Yeah. They told me no twice. First.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought they told you no once.
No, it was twice. The first time nobody even reviewed my application. That was just a certain so-and-so saying like,
Gotcha.
you're a fuck up. Like we're not, this isn't a place for fuck ups like you.
Sir, my application? Ha! We don't take troublemakers like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy went to prison for a little while.
Yes.
And then the second time they let me interview, and I remember interviewing, and I remember you and Matt Black being there.
Yeah.
And I remember being really bitter that like Matt Black was there and I wasn't there. I went and volunteered on Anderson Island, so I still started in the 90s. Like
Right.
99 was where when I started out on the island, but that was a much different space.
Sure.
But I remember coming in my overboard and you and Matt were there, and I think I had earrings in or something like that. And I remember Matt asking, and Matt's like a good friend of mine. Like,
Yeah.
we've fucked around forever. Like we were really close. He's like, do firefighters wear earrings? And I was like, do they wear earrings? And he's like, I don't know, do they? And I was like, fuck. Like, I don't have an answer for this. I got earrings in, like, and Matt's being a little bit different to me right now.
So was Matt a year older than you?
No, we're in the same class.
Same class. Yeah. Okay.
We graduated at the same time.
Yeah.
But certain so-and-so told me no twice.
Yeah.
And then when he was gone, then the powers got entrusted to you.
Dude.
And so when I applied, you're like, yeah, man, let's see what we got.
I don't know if we talked about this last time or not. And I don't remember this like
I know Chris Gaines and I talked about it.
crystal clear. But I do remember, now that you said Matt Black, I remember Matt and I talking with the other person about like, we got to give Earl a chance.
Yeah.
We got to, like, this is like, we got to do this. Like, this is, why not?
Yeah.
Right. And then that was the time that I thought you were talking about the one, I thought that was the one time.
That was the one time.
But that was the second time.
That they let me, yeah. The first time, I didn't even, it was just that guy saying, nope.
Yeah. Okay. Now that makes, when you said Matt, I was like, oh, dude, I do remember this now. And having the conversation about it anyways. Yeah.
And so, but all of that though translated to like you said, you went on that first call and you're like, I don't want anybody to ever feel that way again.
Yeah.
So then later when it was my turn to pay it forward, it was Chris Gaines who was applying, and a few of the PSOs were like, And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
They're like, well, he's a troublemaker. And I was like, that's the same dumb shit that I was told.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs a place to direct his energy.
Yeah.
Okay. So then get Chris on. Chris goes and does a full career for Boeing Fire over in St. Louis. Like he just retired, like did all kinds of good things. He's still a firefighter in the Air Force and still comes out to JBLM.
Oh, right.
So, that's like, and I was never going to fuck with people the way that I got fucked with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it provided you with some like direction and motivation, and also how you wanted to interact with in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that, as shitty as those stories are, like they're necessary for the development part, right?
Yeah.
So that you can pay it forward.
Yeah.
If I don't know if I would have operated different, I might have operated with a lot more ego. I mean, that's one thing I think about, with our time at Steilacoom was it was pretty much you and I running that whole thing. And I mean, I won't speak for you, but like there's a lot of times where like I didn't handle things very well. Like that was that was a fast dose of leadership 101, right? Like talk about learning about like on the drill ground or whatever, like how failures teach things. Like leadership is a whole different like failure network of learning experiences that really bruise up the ego.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of ego, right? Like I was like, for the first time in my life, I'm not being called to fuck up. I have a uniform on, and I nobody's going to do a better job at this than me. Somebody might challenge me evenly, but nobody's going to do this better than me.
Yeah.
And I operated that way pretty much my whole career. Right?
Yeah.
Like nobody's going to be better than me. Like you might be as good as me, but you're not ever going to be better than me.
Yeah.
And that was from drill ground stuff to like maintenance of things or what. Like
sure,
I'll do more rig checks than everybody.
Yeah.
I'll go on more calls than everybody. You know that.
You did, yeah, for sure. And I think there was
because I wanted to prove those fuckers
wrong
that said no
at the beginning.
Like you fucked up. Like you fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty impressive, especially at that age in life, to come back to something a third time. You know what I mean? I think just the cost, the toll of rejection, unfortunately was directed at you, right? Was just like to come back to something for a third time and see, hey, maybe I can get it, like try it again this time. But I also think that was like another lesson on how to, that we learned, I would say I learned in like testing for 7 years,
Yeah.
you know, and just be like, all right, on to the next.
Yeah.
All right, that one didn't work out either, on to the next, right? And you know, when is the next application period? Where, you know, where's the next place it's hiring? And so just to work through that dynamic. But I know we talked about this the last time too, and I think it's fun to talk to and think about, was like I think that at that time in our lives, me and you were a lot different in our personalities, and but yet somehow we like fit together like peas in a pod.
We were the perfect married couple.
Honey, where's the wrench? We need it now. Right here, relax, I had it. Good.
With opposing personalities that balanced everything out.
Yeah.
Like we both had the same mission in mind and the same desire for a sense of professionalism and everything else.
Yeah.
We just went about it a little bit differently, but it was good. When you left, it was like there was a void, right? Like,
yeah.
I did the best I could, and there were other people around, but it was only you and I that would like literally sit there and make up Word documents to create like, here's the duty roster, or here's the new drill form, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like all that stuff that. Like,
You're. I'll tell you this. In knowing you, I didn't expect you to be so organized, I guess would be a good way to put it. That you're like, your personality and your and how you interacted with people, that usually doesn't marry to organization, as far as from my perspective. And like, where I'm not as social and as engaging as you, kind of lended me more to the organizational aspect of it. But you did both really well. And I remember, I mean, we pretty much had an afternoon phone call every day.
Yeah.
And when I was working at the community center.
Yeah. And I was working at Pierce College. I'd be sitting in my patrol car.
Yep.
I'd call you.
Yep. And we'd talk about whatever it was that we were working on next. And it was just like, we did one thing and then it was on to the next thing. And if it was drill for the upcoming Thursday or Saturday, or if it was whatever project or whatever it was, right? It was an interesting combination of personalities that I wouldn't have normally thought would have worked so well together for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure we probably had some conflict at some point, but not that I remember now at all. Like, I just remember it was
No.
I guess I couldn't remember the time of like conflict or disagreement on something.
I can't remember it either. I definitely had conflict with a lot of other people.
Right.
And many of those times that was my own fault or my own ego or my own just
whatever.
unknowing, immaturity, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't remember us ever having.
I just remember like it was interesting in that we were always on the same page, and that if somebody
But we function so different.
but we functioned so differently, but it was always awesome because if somebody asked, like if somebody was question shopping, right, and they asked me, usually you'd give them the same answer, or if they asked you, I'd give them the same answer, and I remember that happening a few times, and it would just always be, oh, dang, that's the same thing that Earl said, you know?
Damn it.
Yeah. But
Mom said the same thing Dad said.
Yeah, super. But like, one of the things that I again greatly appreciated about volunteering at Steilacoom was, and like when I talked about when I got here was like the goal. Like a lot of us had the same goal, the shared goal of, testing and becoming a career firefighter. And that was like in addition to the providing the service level, to being, to being a member of the organization, to being contributor to the system, to the process, because it was it's a lot to give up. It's a lot of time and effort, and leaving that whatever you're doing at the drop of a hat. Going on calls most nights. It seemed like
that was where we would fight with people, is where when we couldn't get people to go to calls at night. I remember writing like some letters, like some emails, and sending them out. Like, if we're gonna call ourselves any kind of anything, we need to make sure that we're like going. Like, I don't care if you're, it was like one of those. Like, hey, this is on us. And
nobody else is showing up.
No,
right.
And how many calls did you go on by yourself? Because there was a butt ton of calls I went on all by myself.
Yeah, and I remember, and that's one of the things.
And that's when I get mad and write a fucking email.
Yes. And that's one of the things that I still remember.
That's also why we started getting people to stay at the station too.
Yep. Stand at the station. If it was your night and you didn't live in town.
Yeah. You
and then we had
station or find somebody to be responsible.
Yep. And we had
that was all our own doing. Nobody asked us
we totally made our own schedule. We had the calendar. Yeah. Remember we had the little calendar?
Nobody asked us to do that.
Yeah.
We just did it.
And we had, how many shifts did we have? 5 shifts, I think. 5 shifts. And you were talking about like when my brother was volunteering and we get a call, and my parents' house, I was on the main level and my brother's room was down the basement. I yelled down into the basement, Isaiah, you coming on this call? He's like, this is a medical aid call? And I'd be like, yeah. He's like, no, I'm not going.
No, thanks.
No,
like, let me know. Come get me if there's something good.
Yeah. If it's a cool call, cool, man, I'll go. But otherwise, no. But like you're talking about waiting for calls, and one of the perspectives that I still hold on to today is just the appreciation of somebody else showing up, right? And it always made going on the call that much easier, that much more effective, that much more safe. But like in working now, having the resources available, like where we get a call and the 3 guys walk to the fire engine, get in and go, right? And then if we need more resources, we call them and they come too. And then if we need more resources, keep calling and they keep coming. And it's like to have that level of availability of resources when we had the house fire right behind. We didn't have the house on Weber Court at that time, but when the house behind our old house on Weber Court caught on fire, and I was at the station, and I was sitting in the rig, geared up, pulled out on the pad on 4811, just waiting, just hoping somebody else was going to show up because it was daytime. And Ken Gibbing showed up, and I was just like, yes, thank goodness.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Just the relief.
Yeah.
And that was a great a kitchen fire that was a working attic fire, and but super impactful to remember back on those things and just be like so thankful that people were showing up, and somebody else showed up, or we've got 3 on the engine, let's go, So
and at the same time, some of those calls that we ran independently, maybe, or even the 2 of us or whatever, those taught you everything you needed to know about how many people you actually needed those calls, right? Like, bro, I remember there was a fire down on Champion and 5th. It was right by Matt Black's old house, his parents' old house, and maybe I think they still live there. Mom does. It was a good fire. 4811 was in the shop for whatever reason, so only 12 was available.
Classic.
George Robinson is working.
Okay.
Which certain PSOs you felt a little bit better about if there was a fire situation, and George was one of those people. For me, but like no volunteers showed up. It was the middle of the day, like everybody was at work or whatever. And I don't know what the fuck I probably left work to come to the call because I would do that.
So you totally
literally just I got to go to this call because nobody else is going to go.
And I was probably sitting in my office at the community center.
Yeah. Well, I get in 12 and nobody shows up. So like multiple reports, flame showing. And so I just go and I roll down. And I was like, I know there's a hydrant right up here if I come in that way. So I pulled up to the hydrant. I got out myself. I wrapped it. Triple wrapped it, quadruple probably wrapped it because there was nobody gonna be staying there. So I got back in the rig, pulled down to the house, and then I got out. I hooked up the LDH to the pump. I went up, charged the hydrant myself, came down, started the pump up, pulled a pre-connect to the front door, showed water, and I was hitting it from the front door and then George showed up. Fortunately, George had his gear. So George put his gear on and he showed up, but it was still only 2 of us. And then I think Rod showed up. So at that point, we just were like, that's enough. We're going in. So we went in and like, it was me. And then it was just me and George fighting this fire. And then I think Lakewood showed up or something at some point, but dude, we knocked the fire down. Like that would have gotten worse if I didn't do everything that I had done. But I was just, this is just how it is, Totally. And then, working with Lakewood and DuPont it was just like, I felt invincible. I felt like I could do anything on a call, not out of bounds or anything, but like, I felt like we could move in a way that like, there's an army that is going to come make sure that this doesn't get too bad for us. You know? That was such a different feeling. And I remember thinking at times too, like, is this going to lead to some complacency? Because I was really good at everything before when I had to think about everything. Now I'm just having to think about my one role, but that translated good to this.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because then I could, that allowed me to know, I maintained like a situational awareness that was like very clear. Like I very clearly knew what needed to be going on in all those places because I knew what it was like to do that by myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a totally different experience than what most people that are coming into the fire service today have, right? Where a lot of times the first call that they're running is their first day on shift.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And to have the experience that we were able to have for the period of time that we were, you know, I think really did provide us with a level of just understanding of how incidents unfold and kind of who does what when. And man, and like you said, you know, hey, if I got to figure this out on my own, okay, you know, it's kind of like now when our third ride's into the hospital, I'm like, hey, we're good with 2. You know, we can do this with 2. Not that it's optimal and not that it's what we want to do, but it's like I don't go out of service just because we only got 2.
Bro, there were times even in DuPont, I ran calls by myself. Yeah. Because we would have a transport or something like that. And then I'm like,
by yourself.
I would, as the captain, I'd drive the engine back to the station.
Yeah.
And if we get another call and they're still at Madigan or wherever, we went back and forth on what we were supposed to do. I'm like, you're not going to tell me that I'm not going to the call. But Like, that's not why I'm here. Like, I get rules and laws and policies and blah, 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 blah. But the community, if they know that there's a fire engine in the station and nobody's coming, like, that's going to be bad for us. So I'm going to go. Yeah. And I remember a couple times, man, I went on calls all by myself in the engine. I drive the engine myself. I was the captain. I drive the engine myself to a call. I'd have a 12 lead all hooked up and everything. Yeah. By the time anybody else showed up, you know? Yeah.
But you knew you could do it because you've done it 1,000, maybe not 1,000 times, but a bunch of times.
But that's where others didn't want to do that. They wanted to, like, no, there needs to be 2 of us or I'm not going. Yeah. You know, and I get that too. Like, it wasn't that I disagreed with that. I just, like, but for me, like, I'm fucking going. Yeah. Like, you can punish me, but what are you punishing me for? Yeah. Like, I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. Like, the right thing is to help somebody who needs help. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Yep.
But at the same time, our ability to manage that stuff on our own or with very limited resources, that creates this political environment where it makes it hard to say that you need anything more. Right?
Oh, right.
Because you're like, well, it doesn't matter if you're a 2-person company or a 5-person company, you're going to do the same job, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you just showed me you could do it. Yeah. By yourself. Yeah. That's a good point. And I think that
we fought with that in DuPont all the time. And it's like, well, you're handling it, aren't you? Like, well, yes, but when you can't handle it, then we'll address this. Like, okay, but like, it's still not safe though. And it's still
how bad of an incident do you want to happen before you change?
So we're waiting for something terrible to happen to say change needs to occur.
Right.
But even then, there were bad things that still happened, and change. They're still running pretty much the same thing out there. They have been since the 90s. Yeah. There's been ebbs and flows, but like, it's a 12, 15 person workforce, and what happens when 3 guys are sick with COVID or something, you know?
Yeah. And the tough part is it's geography, where it's at, right? It's on an island, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
But that, honestly, being in Steilacoom though, taught me how to function really well in DuPont, because I knew we were it.
Yeah.
We were it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, Lakewood or West Pierce would come, but like, even if they did respond, it would be a minute, you know? And now they're getting JBLM a lot more, that we didn't used to get JBLM as much. And now I'm like, I don't know, I have my own feelings on, like, you have tax-paying citizens that are, it's like, fix your own fire department. You're relying on somebody who doesn't have to respond. But, just knowing, like, we're it, so we got to figure this out. And I remember in my lieutenant's test, I think we were talking about this the other day. In my lieutenant's test, we did a blue card scenario.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going through it, and I remember I stopped in the middle, and I'm like, do you want me to answer this as if you're grading me for blue card, or do you want me to answer this as if I'm responding to an incident in DuPont with the resources I know that I have?
Yeah.
They're like, just answer it like you would for Blue Card. I'm like, but shouldn't you be looking for a lieutenant who knows how to do
this here
in DuPont?
Yeah.
Like the way that guess what? We don't have 3 more engines, a ladder truck, and 2 BCs and 3 medic units coming.
Yeah, right.
We have 1 fire engine with probably 2 people.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different train of tactics that we have to consider.
Totally. Yeah.
But you want to evaluate me on it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about we take a break really quick?
All right.
We're back. Oh, I need to turn that light on. Get a dip in. You know, I started this at Steilacoom.
You did?
Yeah. It was riding around with the cops at night. Like Brian Wirtz and Mark Reddick and all those guys. Like all the cops chewed. So I spent so much time there, like at the station.
Right.
Not just it was like weeks or months at a time where they should have just paid me because like I was out in a patrol car every night.
Yeah. You were working more than 40 hours a week there for sure.
And they fucking loved having me out there because there'd be like a shooting out on South Tacoma Way and they're like, we got an EMT with us, we're on the way. Like that was their excuse to go to stuff too, right? Oh man, that was good times.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so okay. What were we gonna talk about?
The Super Bowl in the town of Steilacoom.
The Super Bowl in the town of Steilacoom.
Also known as the 4th of July.
Yeah. Everything that we did revolved around the 4th of July in one way, shape, or another. Like it was all a build-up, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
Everything was a build-up. Like we're doing this drill so that we can look good at this and refine that and whatever so that we look magnificent on the 4th of July. Or because 4th of July is going to be utter chaos.
Yeah.
Like it's the one, and we did have that one, what year was that? Like 2002 or 3 or something like that. That was,
it was something like 2002. I think 2002.
We were just running calls nonstop.
Dude, it was great.
To me, that is the best memory of Steilacoom I can recall. Like if you say, what's your best memory or most exciting memory, or best day, it was that year, that 4th of July, where it was just, there was a lot of medical aid calls, but it was mostly fires. I mean, we were going fire to fire to fire to fire. And we were so far beyond Steilacoom at one point or another that you were on 12, like way out in Tacoma or somewhere.
Yeah. That was you guys, I think, got dispatched to DuPont on 4811, right?
Yes, that's right. We had they had a big brush
fire out there. And so I was on 4812 and we were up at the station and we got dispatched to fire out in Lakewood off of basically like 84th and South Tacoma Way.
Mm-hmm. Right on the borders.
Yeah. And so we're en route to that call and
from Steilacoom,
from the station. And
4812.
And we're in 4812. Yep. Our museum piece is rolling down the road, right?
Just killing the environment.
And just blowing. I wonder if that was Sanchez driving or not.
Yeah.
I think it was. And so, anyways, what I realized is once we're on the road and going, of the rigs that were dispatched, we were going to be first due. And it was some rigs from Tacoma and some rigs from JBLM that were responding. And
this all seems fine now. Like once you've worked in the professional, that's normal. Common.
Yeah.
Back then though, it's like that was super intimidating.
Dude, it was like all of a sudden we got kicked up to the varsity, you know?
Like, oh shit, coach put me in a varsity game that kind of matters.
Yeah. And it was crazy because as we're going, as we're getting down to on Steilacoom Boulevard towards South Tacoma Way, there's this huge column of smoke. Humongous, right? But what I didn't realize until we got there was that the reason that we were going with Tacoma Fire and JBLM was that there was an apartment on fire that all the West Pierce was on, right? All Lakewood, UP, whatever, who else was there?
Yeah.
But there was a multiple alarm fire going on. And so we rolled into this mobile home park over by the B&I. And we roll up, first one's there, nothing's going on, get out. And the person who had a hard time speaking English was telling us there was a fire and pointing at the column of smoke, right?
Oh.
And so they were just reporting the fire, and that came across
As a fire.
That
was so the RP and the dispatch location were assumed to be the fire.
Yeah. And so they were just
Or a fire.
telling us, hey, the apartment's over here on fire. And so anyway, we got on the radio and just told Firecom, hey, everybody can cancel. This is just a report of the fire that's a couple blocks down the road. But like going down Steilacoom Boulevard, seeing this huge column of smoke, it was like, dude, this is going to be on. We're going to be the first ones there with Tacoma Fire and JBLM, and we're in Old Betty. We're in the 1974 Mac. So anyways.
Was Sanchez your driver?
I'm pretty sure it was Sanchez.
You always had Sanchez. I always had Mahler.
Yeah. That's right. And so then we clear that call, and for some reason we were on a Tacoma Fire channel. I don't know if I was like scrolling back through to get to Firecom or if they had dispatched that on the Tacoma channel, but I was on a Tacoma Fire channel, and there was a fire over on the west side of Tacoma near the Narrows Bridge. And the dispatcher was telling the engine officer, and, they called him by name. Hey, Bob, whatever the guy's name was. Hey, Bob, you better get your own water supply because this is a confirmed fire and there's nobody else coming, right? And I was like, whoa, hold on. Wait a second. Hold up. Wait a minute. We're already halfway there. We're at 84th and South Tacoma Way and available. But then you guys were in DuPont still.
Yeah, and we worked a fire out there for like 8 hours.
Yeah, you guys were out there for quite a long time. And so I was like, we better head back towards Steilacoom because there's just the 8 unit was in Steilacoom at that time because you guys were still at the fire in DuPont. And so, of course, we're heading back to Steilacoom, and somewhere on the way back, there was another brush fire that got dispatched in Steilacoom, and not a big one, but anyways, we went to that. But you were out at DuPont, and it was quite a long time that you guys were out there. I remember you guys getting back late that night. Where was that at? Do you remember?
It was on the bluff. That was a common fire that DuPont still contends with. Where the golf course is now, there's no golf course. There was no golf course then. I remember, I think it was a JBLM engine and tender, or maybe it was 2 engines and a tender. I don't remember. They laid like 3,000 feet of LDH or something ungodly, and I was like, I remember telling the crew, like, we need to leave before that needs to be picked up.
We gotta go.
Yeah, we were out there for a long time.
Yeah.
But before that, though, I remember it was just like going fire to fire.
Yep.
The PSOs they were doing their own thing. So they weren't in the mix.
Well, and that was the thing. Is like
on 4th of July.
Because 4th of July was like, we're staffing the rigs, we're staffing the station.
And we did that all ourselves.
Yeah.
We were like, we planned that all. All the spreadsheets and fucking Word documents and everything else that we created for that day.
And we had a roster who was going to do what, who was going to work when, where, and we had shift change.
Yeah.
And then we also had, dude, you remember Rod and Yvonne? They always did the barbecue.
Yeah.
I remember that was cool. And
rest in peace, Rod.
Yeah. That they would, Rod would always plan the barbecue, and him and Yvonne would always, barbecue, man the barbecues, and we had food all day. I mean,
Yeah.
There was always something cooking up at the station on the 4th.
Rod was like the grandpa. Right?
Yeah,
Like
dude,
just
that was great.
like,
It was, and if you were at the station and it was lunchtime, and Rod went down to the pub for lunch, and Rod would always get your lunch. Get something, get a sandwich, get whatever. Yeah, that was great. And I remember because we would set up tables in the apparatus bay, and I mean families would come in on the 4th for the barbecue lunch.
we have pictures of our kids together and stuff like that. I think. Or maybe that was Halloween. There's pictures.
But the Halloween too, yeah. But I remember even my parents would come to the barbecue sometimes at the station. And they always really enjoyed that, and that was always a fun time. But to your point, we had the staffing, we prepped for it. Well, those rigs were shiny.
That's the crazy thing is like for a bunch of volunteers, and you think of all those calls we were running in other jurisdictions, even like that went as smooth as it could have gone. I mean. I can't imagine it being any better with a bunch of paid people or anything. Like we handled that really well.
Yeah, I mean, we went from maybe an average of maybe 2 calls a day, a call and a half a day, and then on the 4th of July we were running 15, 20 calls.
Well, that particular 4th of July, I think we had 50 something.
Well, I remember we had a ton, but I remember we all checked each other's names off on all the reports.
Oh yeah, I don't care. Like everybody's getting paid today.
Yeah.
We're all gonna eat tomorrow.
Yeah, If you were working on that shift and we had a call, your name went on the report.
Yeah,
and for the $5 stipend, yeah.
So some of us made like $250 that day.
It was a lot of calls. I remember that. It sure was a lot of calls. But it was always, we'd always be good for, 10 dozen calls, something like that on the 4th, which was such a huge, to go to the station and expect to, get a couple calls, because there would be a couple days where we would have no calls, and then a few days where we'd have 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, love the 4th of July. It always was a super fun time.
Well, and I think that particular 4th of July also set us up for expecting utter chaos every year after that, and we never replicated that. I never even replicated that in my career professionally. I mean, we had some years where stuff was busy, but nothing ever felt like that did.
I don't remember if we talked about this the first time, but my first year on probation, and so it's 2004. I was at on engine 65 in Spanaway on the 4th of July, and dude, it was a dry year, and we just went. The first part of the day wasn't bad, and then once it was like later in the afternoon, and we just went from call to call to call, and we're just throwing hose on the back bumper, right, and strapping it down with like a bungee cord.
Yeah, we're throwing it in the cab.
Yeah, whatever. And I remember because it was at the old 65 off of Park, and which is just west of Spanaway Lake by a couple blocks. And we pulled in the morning, and it was like dawn, the sun was just coming up, and there was like this haze over Spanaway from all this, like the smoke from the fires and all the gunpowder smoke from all the fireworks and everything. It just settled because there was like an inversion. And I just remember sitting on the front bumper, just exhausted, just like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And I mean, that was the we even had a person that got a pedestrian that got hit by a car on Pacific that night, and I mean, it was just one thing to the next. But I remember that, and I was just like, wow. To run that volume of calls, but that's like, again, to like we talked about before, is that Steilacoom was an awesome place to prepare you for a lot of different things, to have a lot of great experiences, to like we had a great time. I mean, we had the softball team, right? We had the softball team, and then when we had just thinking about this now, remember we had the fifth Thursday night drills.
Oh yeah.
Where if we had a fifth Thursday night, it was we planned like an event outside of the station.
Yeah, we go down to like Julian's.
We do, yeah. One of them was Julian that we had or the pub.
He showed up there.
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of fun. I thought that was super, so much fun, and we had one of the things that I think about with Steilacoom, but it's common in life too, is that like shared experiences bring people together, right? And we had an opportunity with so many people to have a lot of shared experiences, and then to think of where people went after they volunteered at Steilacoom,
right,
is incredible.
Oh yeah,
right. Like, at Steilacoom, like at that point, for a while, our volunteer program produced so many career firefighters.
Yeah.
Out of that, right? Yeah. And I think that is one thing that I'm super not only thankful for, but even proud of, to be part of that system that was like-minded in providing a service to the community, but also providing a stepping stone, a way to progress in someone's career.
Yeah.
And from someone that was like, hey, Mark Tinsley, can I come to you for a day at your work?
Mm-hmm.
To go from that to then looking back on it now as 22 years at Central Pierce, is just like, that's incredible. Mm-hmm. And that's like one of the things you were talking about, giving back. One of the things that I've always appreciated being able to give back a little bit in is doing ride-alongs. Because I appreciate that so much, but Mark being willing to let me ride with him, that I've really tried to step into, if especially people that I know, or somebody that I know, their kid or whatever, and is asking for a ride, and trying to get that set up for them. I always really enjoy that. But so 4th of July, favorite part of being a firefighter in Steilacoom for you?
I think it was the most exciting part or day, or it was something to focus on, right?
Yeah.
Like it was like a pivot point, right?
Yeah.
Like the things kind of pivoted around that, but like, no, for me, I think it was literally just being able to put on a uniform. Like, I always had such a desire to serve, or to be of service, or to, man, I was just talking about this the other day, but like Nate Jester, your brother was a part of this at times too, but like we created our own militia in like 2nd grade, right? Like we would wear camouflage and go out in the woods and do like training ops and all this stuff. And it was just like, I don't know, growing up in the 80s, the Cold War stuff, all that, I don't know, and the movies, you know, like Top Gun and Commando and Predator and all that stuff. It was like, there isn't anything I wanted to do other than to put on a uniform and do some hard work somewhere, you know what I mean? And to be of service, to help people. And
to belong to.
Yeah, for sure. And you were, I know we're kind of circling back around for a second, but like we were talking about how we started at Steilacoom, and my two no's I ended up at Anderson Island,
Right.
and that, like, those, the experiences of like the failure, but then also the accomplishments and everything else, like I was craving that, even the failure parts of it. Like, so even though I was denied, it was like, okay, but this still feels like the direction I need to go. So you are like resilient to do it a third time, or to apply a third time. But the reason I applied a third time was, well, for starters, I knew a certain someone was gone, and I know you had pretty much taken over that, and I think we'd even had conversations about it or something. And but the other reason is because I had signed up I joined the military.
Oh, right.
I joined the Army.
Yeah.
Like before I was even out of high school, I was in the Army. I have my ID card is right over there, and to prove that it's true. And I even have a DD-214. But like, then I was disqualified medically from the Army.
Yeah.
Because I was prescribed an antidepressant, Prozac, by our personal doctor between the time I was supposed to ship out. And I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying here. I'm trying to be helpful. I'm like, I knew if I didn't get into a profession where I could have a uniform, or an environment where I could have a uniform, I was going to be a really successful criminal. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, your brother and I used to steal cars and put them back, and nobody knew the difference. And he's a cop now. But the things that we did in those days, like,
yeah.
And I was just looking to belong somewhere, like I didn't have, I'm not saying that like my parents were bad or anything. They, just like I said earlier, like Kaylee and I acknowledged, like, we were just operating from what we knew.
Yeah.
And then, but I didn't have, like, I was always searching for a place to belong. And so when I was in school, it was my friend groups and social groups and stuff like that.
And sports?
Yeah, absolutely. Sports. Like, sports for sure was the first one to be like, oh, like, purpose. Like, I can be purposeful. We can have a joint mission, particularly football, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, we get to function as a team, and we get to hit each other, and we get to like do all those things. So I knew I needed to do that. Otherwise, like, my mind and my energy was going to, and now I analyze this from a psychological perspective, right? But like, particularly men, like, we're searching for a place of belonging, right? Like, and this is why men end up in gangs. This is why men end up in the Army or the military. Like, it's good, bad, or indifferent. We're all searching for a place of, like, we're all searching for our team.
Yeah.
Like, where's our team at? You know? And I'm just thankful that, like, you happen to be in the place that you were at, because nothing I did, like, not just my career in the fire service, but what I'm creating now, like, that was all because somebody like you and some others, like, gave me a chance along the way.
Yeah.
Right. And now we get to tell these stories about 4th of July and stuff like that. But that's the stuff that ended up molding and shaping me.
Sure.
That will also end up molding and shaping my own children. Right.
Sure.
Like, if I didn't have that could have looked completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different. Especially with how much partying I did back then and everything else.
But to go through it like you did, right?
Yeah.
Where where you first had, where you encountered some failure and encountered, a negative feedback, and then to say, okay, well, now I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to come back and try again, I do think shows a lot of resiliency in you. But then I think it also just is part of what was kind of bred into the culture that we had at Steilacoom, with the shared mission of, we don't really have a lot, we don't really know what we're doing, but we know where we want to go.
Yeah.
Right. And then we had so many people wanting to take that next step and to become, career firefighter. And there was that common goal that so many of us were working on and helping each other with. I think was really cool. But yeah, just like, again, one of the opportunities in life that I don't think many people were able to, take advantage of or even experience. Right. And
we needed each other. Like, we all kept each other accountable. And like, fucking Noah's wearing this to calls, like, well, I'm not going to let him look better than me. So like, there's this healthy competition that always existed too.
That is a good way to put it. A very healthy competition, I think. And that built up
that set a tone or a standard for us moving forward, right? And so you were just talking about, you see so many of those folks that we volunteered with are all wearing white and red hats, and most of them are still around the county too.
There's a lot of local people, for sure, and didn't stray far from Steilacoom,
No.
Between West Pierce, DuPont, Central Pierce,
Gig Harbor. Terrence is out at
where's
Central Pierce or Central Kitsap.
Central Kitsap.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember him coming to calls on his bike. Did you ever see this?
Homeschool Terrence? No, but like for sure.
Terrence he would show up to calls that his dad was on his bike, and he had a little siren on his bike.
Terrence, I hope you're watching.
You know, one of those, you know what I'm talking about, right? It was like the little PA thing on your bike that you could have, and it was sirens. He had that on his bike. It was awesome. And he showed up to drill, dude. He showed up to more drills than some of our volunteer firefighters. And so that was always fun to see him at those incidents. And then, speaking of similar, it's kind of similar. One of the, I think this is a cool story for me anyways, but I remember the first call that I ever went on, and it wasn't with Mark Tinsley. It wasn't the one that they left me at the station. It was with my dad.
Yeah.
And
when your dad was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my dad volunteered from it would have been early 70s for 14 years to like mid 80s. So like, I think like 72 to like 86 or something like that, in that range. And that was when, Joel Anderson was the fire chief, and it was either Joel Anderson or John Pitts. Anyways, my dad and mom moved to Steilacoom after going to PLU, and I think it was Joel Anderson ran into my dad in town somewhere and was like, dude, so when are you gonna help at the volunteer fire department? We need your help. Like, you're a young able-bodied male. Show up. Right. And so my dad was asked, and he did. And then my mom was a nurse, and so she did some aid unit stuff, some responses as a nurse in town as well. But my mom was gone, and my mom wasn't at home that night, and I was in my onesie jammies with my roller skates on, skating around in our basement downstairs.
That sounds so Napoleon Dynamite.
Dude, it's totally like me, Isaiah, and Hannah were all just skating in our jammies downstairs, and my dad runs down and he's like, "We got a fire, gotta go." And like, I'm sure he didn't pick all of us up, but I just remember like we picked us all up and like threw us in his Ford F-250 Ranger, right? And had the big bench seat up front, single cab, and we drive to this house fire, actually right where Lexington turns into Sequalish, right in there, and put it in park, left it out on the street. We could see the whole thing, and we just watched for the next hour and a half or whatever it was. Sat in the truck when my dad was. I think it was, if I remember correct, I think it was a chimney fire that spread to the attic because we could see the fire coming through the roof. And anyways, I remember that was my first call that I ever went on, and I was with my dad. And it was interesting growing up when at the house, this was before 911, and they took shifts answering the phone. So if somebody called whatever the fire department phone number was for Steilacoom, they had a phone. My mom, they still have the desk in the house where that phone was.
It's like a rotating bat phone.
Yes, it was exactly like that. And so you had it for your week or whatever it was. And they would answer it. And then, but it was a party line. So if anybody else was listening, they could just pick it up. They wouldn't talk, but they could hear what the call was and figure it out and start heading to the station. And then somehow they did, that was when they had the plectrons.
Yeah.
And they would dispatch it on, it would go out on the plectron. But yeah, that was first call that I went on. So it was super fun to remember. I love thinking about that.
That's actually, I don't know if I've ever heard that story. That's pretty cool. I can imagine the three of you just sitting in the cab there. And
it was at night too. So to be like, it was at night. And so to see like the fire looked bigger than it was, just because it was at night. And I remember
everything's huge.
Yeah. And just sitting there, jammies on, roller skates on, and we sat in the cab for, it felt like a super long time. And, I was probably, I don't know, 4 years old, 5 years old, maybe. So anyways, that would have been my first experience in the fire department. And I know my dad loved it, he absolutely loved doing it. But he never wanted to do it as a career,
Now your parents, the way you described that, it sounds like that's the old school quintessential help your community.
Oh, dude, that's exactly what it was.
Like we have these skills or availability or talents or whatever, and so and that's how the fire service was.
Yeah, and I think
for a long time.
And that I think that was something that was really kind of taught to me from an early age of, my parents being involved in the volunteer fire department, my parents being involved in our church and doing stuff with our church, and my parents being involved in scouts, right, and doing stuff with scouts. It was very like to be involved in the community, and then going back to where we started, right, of Steilacoom being a small town community where there's a lot of people that really care about this and want this for themselves and want it for their families to experience this level of small town.
All these names we're throwing out of these people that we grew up with in the community, and then we're at Steilacoom with, like Tinsley's too, like
totally.
That the first time we were all ever in uniform was in Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I didn't stick with it for very long, but that was, I remember your dad.
Yeah.
I remember us meeting at Oberlin Church.
Dude, I mean, think about, this is an interesting thing to think about too, is how packed Cub Scouts was.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was the activity. That was, we didn't have, Xboxes and PlayStations, right? The activity was doing scouts. The activity was, having your own little, friend group militia.
Yeah.
Speaking of funny story, I know you'll remember this, is when Isaiah got suspended from Pioneer because I think he was in 6th grade. He had like a little plastic toy gun in his backpack, and he was like getting out a book or something from his backpack because he was going over to Steve Reibolt's house after school to play guns or whatever, militia, whatever it was. And he takes his book out or his binder out, whatever, and the toy gun falls out, and it's like orange. Dude, I'll never forget these guns. And it had like a little rubber pellet that you had to like pull a thing back and it would shoot it, right? And it was like a Nerf gun before Nerf guns, you know? And he got suspended because somebody saw the plastic gun and that he had brought to school in his backpack. But I mean, that was the activities, you know, and that was fun.
That's one thing I think about all the time. Like, not to change the subject, but like, if we go back to what we were talking about, but I think I have to consciously remind myself how different the world is now that like our kids are growing up in. Like, even from my adult kids to Bear, you know, it's like they're just navigating a different world. Like, I want good things for them, but I also acknowledge that I don't entirely know what all those good things are, because this world is, I knew what I was trying to create from the template that I had in it as a child, but like, this is a different space, you know, like, especially like with AI and all this stuff. It's just like, it's a world that we could have never comprehended when we were their age.
Right.
Like, at all.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I mean, well, I know we talked about this the last time. It was like, you came home when the streetlights came on.
Yeah.
Right?
Bro.
You didn't have a cell phone with GPS location, so your parents could see where you're at.
Dude, and what did we do all the time? I remember I would tell my dad, I'm staying at Nate Jester's house, and Nate would tell his parents he's staying at my house, and then we'd pack up all of our gear, walk down the train tracks a mile or two, and camp in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
With like jars of napalm in our backpack and fireworks and whatever else.
Yeah.
We're like in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
It's like 2nd grade, bro. Like, that was a different world. And I can't rationalize it now, because I feel like a lot of it's just hypervigilance and stuff. But like, I can't imagine being a parent back then, and like, you have no idea. Like, you just hope for the best. Like, your loved ones leave, and you're like, I hope you come home. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll look for you when the street lights come on.
Yeah. 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 That was, I remember, you know, you go to your friend's house and you know, like, hey, I'm going to ride my bike to my friend's house, and you call when you get there or whatever it was. Right. But
bro, Isaiah and I would ride our bikes out to like McCord Air Force Base. Yeah. You know, if my son said, hey Dad, can I ride my bike out to McCord Gate? Yeah. Like, well, absolutely not.
Dude, this is, so we had some friends, the Marshes, that lived in Steilacoom, or in DuPont, sorry, in Old Town DuPont, right? We would ride our bikes on Steilacoom DuPont Road.
Yes.
Out to DuPont.
Yes.
I'm like, I wouldn't ride my bike on the road out to Steilacoom DuPont Road now.
I did that one time when I was working in DuPont. We were living in Oak Brook. I remember I was like, I'm in a healthy kick. So I was like, I started riding my bike to work.
Yeah.
There was like 2 days of that. I'm like, this is not safe. This is not safe at all.
Not a good idea.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, as kids, like, we'd roll out, like Isaiah and I would ride our bikes out to the Marshes in DuPont.
Yeah.
On Steilacoom DuPont Road.
Yeah.
Go out there, play, have fun, have some lunch.
Yeah.
Try not to die on the old train trestle. Did you ever go to I don't even know if it's still there.
Yeah.
The DuPont Powder Works train trestle. There's that big gorge that goes through there. I mean, we'd run across that thing, ride our bikes across that thing. I mean, craziness. And the thing was falling down around us. Anyways, super fun. Good times.
Your brother and like Steve Reibolt and Nate and I, the other thing we'd do is like, we'd go find stuff to rappel off of.
Oh, you guys climb trees. I remember this.
We would climb everything and then rappel off of it.
Yes. Dude, you guys had. I remember this. You guys had a climbing rope, and harnesses, and all the carabiners and all the gear.
Yeah.
And I remember Isaiah would tell us about that. You guys would go climb trees and then rappel down out of the trees.
We'd find bridges and cliffs or buildings like the old Western State. We'd go up there and hook into that and like pretend we were Navy SEALs jumping in fucking windows and shit.
I'm like, I don't know how my parents did. I don't know. But
Isaiah was the rogue one in your
he
group.
was for sure. Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah.
So
back to the 4th of July.
Oh, 4th of July.
We got to do a reunion of sorts, like we keep talking about.
Dude, that would be super fun.
I keep talking about it amongst some people, but like
we could almost make it.
Steilacoom.
One of the things I was thinking was we could almost make it like a old school fireman's picnic, you know. And I don't really even know what that means, other than setting up a time and having like a reunion for anybody that was part of the Steilacoom Fire Department from whenever to whenever. And I think that would be super fun to reconnect with some people, with anybody that had that experience, because going back to like what we talked about, it's that shared experience that we can all draw from. And I know there's so many people that really benefited, really enjoyed that experience, and really gave a lot of their time and effort and energy into that. And I think to recognize that would be awesome. You know, if that's around the 4th of July, if that's, I don't even know what it would exactly look like, but I'm sure you probably have maybe a little more ideas than.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like we can kick around dates or whatever, but I think we just like we're the ones here, you know. So let's you and I pick a date, and whoever can make it, and then maybe make it an annual thing.
Yeah, I love it.
And if we could get our hands on one of them old engines or something,
dude,
let's work ourselves back into the parade.
Dude, I'm down for that.
I'd love to have like some little part-time side hobby thing to do, which would be like go down and dress up an engine for a parade and do it the way I want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, that would be so much fun. Yeah, I think that sounds great. Doing it in the summertime when the weather's good sounds, I know people do have generally busy schedules, but yeah, we should definitely make it happen. So plan for something in 26. We'll look at some dates, fire some stuff out there, and come
something
up with
around the 4th.
Yeah, that would probably be good. You know, one of the things I was even thinking of, Earl, was, how many graduations did we have down at Sunnyside Beach?
Yeah.
That we could even get the picnic shelter and bring some barbecues, some easy ups, and a bunch of tables and chairs, and like have a whole thing down there. That could be a possibility, and maybe have some games and stuff for families. But yeah, I think that's a great idea. I would really be excited to do something like that.
Well, I know there's people interested, even Cindy Pardo.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be fun.
Right on.
What else? There's something else we were going to talk about, right? But we can't talk about politics.
Oh no, we're going to stay off the politics topic.
What was the other thing? I don't know. We're going to tell a big story, but the story was 4th of July.
I think the story was 4th of July, and just like how things revolved a lot around the preparation for that and the execution of that day, just because it was such a big event in town. But we also did other events, salmon bake, apple squeeze, the Santa, what they call it, the Santa around town or whatever it was. That was always a big deal.
And then we always had the station open on Halloween.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that.
Mhm.
We got some good pictures of Savannah and Luke. Yep, when they were really tiny. But I think going back to all that stuff with Steilacoom, from the 4th of July to the events to the training to uniforms, all that was, we weren't operating from a place of limitations.
Oh, the world was wide open.
Yeah.
Like, it was whatever we wanted to create, we could create. And we were talking about this earlier. You came in here. It's like, how long did it take you to put all this shit together?
Yeah.
Like, I just like to tinker.
Yeah.
I need a space to be creative.
Yeah.
That Steilacoom provided a blank canvas for us to be as creative as we wanted to be.
Yeah.
But like I said, we were driven by wanting to look good, and we knew that there were people. I'll be honest, like, I think we've probably talked about this before, but like, Lakewood didn't come in and take over because we kept that thing going. Like, that merger probably should have happened much sooner, or it would have happened much sooner had we not been there. Not saying that we were like the bee's knees to everything, but I know how much work we did, and the fact that we took advantage of that blank canvas to create and create and create, like, from our events that we did to, like, nobody asked us to do any of those things. We just fucking did them.
Well, and nobody else.
And we were constantly like, oh, we did this. Now we need to do this now.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next thing we're going to do?
Yeah. And if we did it now, we're going to also do it the next time or the next year or whatever the next event is. And I think that was really energizing in not being told no very often.
Yeah.
And not being really limited. It was like, if we came up with the plan, you generally had to tell somebody, and they were most of the time cool with whatever that they didn't have to do, and then it was we got to do our thing. So I love that. That was great to have that environment to work in.
I think the most resistance I ever got there when asking for something was when I put together the lieutenant's proposal.
Oh.
To have us be lieutenants instead of
crew chiefs.
Crew chiefs. I remember showing up at the west side with the crew chief on my helmet.
Yeah.
And Tracy Lyons like, what the fuck is a crew chief? He didn't say fuck, but like, he's like, what the hell is a crew chief?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just what we are. And he's like, well, C becomes before D. So does that mean a crew chief outranks a division chief, or how does it work? And he's just like, just messing with it, right? And I'm like, this is dumb. Like, why are we this? Like, we're a name out here on this show ground that doesn't match anything else. Like, it's confusing.
Yeah.
So I remember I put that proposal together, and it was John Derrick who approved it, but like, it had to have buy-in, and there's a lot of people who are like, no, you guys are not lieutenant. I'm like, I've never even fucking seen you in bunker gear, so get out of here. You know what I mean?
Did that happen? Did that end up happening? Oh,
it did.
It did. Look at that.
That's so-and-so's old helmet, by the way.
Oh.
The one who told me no twice.
Oh.
I remember when I got to go get a red helmet, I went and got that fucker's helmet, and I stripped his fucking name off of it and put my fucking name on it. And now it's sitting here as a memorial to me.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, I will say this. You're talking about gear. Reminded me of this. I still hoard gear.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to come by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was hard to come by at Steilacoom, and I've never kicked that habit of, like, I always got that extra pair of gloves or the extra hood or flashlight, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, I always got the extra. Yeah.
Gloves right here.
Yeah, there you go.
These were my backups.
Yeah.
That nobody could touch and knew that I had.
It's like, because remember, like in your like in the lockers, in the bay, it had that little top shelf, and I remember I just, like, my extras all in there because I, like, couldn't, in case I got a hole in my hood, I didn't want to have to grab another one or get another one, because sometimes we didn't have them. We have to order them, and then you're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
But that's cool that you have all these.
Speaking of hoods, I guarantee all 3 of those helmets probably have a hood stashed up
Stuff in the top.
too.
Yeah. That's cool. Was it I want to say, was it you when your West Side group, when these Phoenix helmets were pretty new to Steilacoom?
Yeah.
And I think who was it that like melt, like it didn't like just melt, it like kind of blew out? Were you there for that?
Oh, I don't know, but I know that helmet, the crew chief one,
Mm-hmm.
I melted 2 shields off of the front
Oh
of that
yeah.
one. And that I washed that one numerous times. That thing probably should have been taken out of service a long time before it ever was. But we had what we had. So
dude, so one helmet that I had, we got back from North Bend and it was just so black, right? And so I used that hand soap that in the orange container that has the little grit in it. And I used that soap, and it took the shine right off. It was yellow. It was clean yellow.
Wow.
But it was dull. It would look like a matte finish because it took the shine right off the helmet.
That's funny.
But
that's, we're talking about functioning and learning from our functioning. You know, that it was those little things too, right? Like learning.
Like, I don't know how to clean a helmet.
That red helmet, that was the darkest helmet I've ever had, was that helmet at one point in time. Yeah. And I remember I went to town on cleaning it up, and I don't know what got into me, but in reality, I would have rather kept it the way that it was after going up to North Bend a bunch of times with it, because it looked like it had more stories.
Yeah, it had that patina.
Now it looks like it just sits on the shelf or something, and always has.
Yeah.
That's like my lieutenant's helmet, which is right behind you, from DuPont.
Yeah.
That one's pretty shiny, but my captain's helmet was I think I did some live fire training out on Anderson Island with that one, and
like in a live burn?
Yeah, I was working with their like recruit class or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And so that was fun. There was a couple of moments in there though where it was like, somebody needs to fucking get in here in a second though, because I had that fire going and I don't know what they were doing outside. But when you're used to things operating a certain way. yeah. And then things go a different way. But it was good. I
got a good question for you.
Yeah.
I know we talked about a few people that we volunteered with in Steilacoom. Who was one of the favorite people that you volunteered with? That, like you were saying, on the 4th of July, you had like Mike Mahler, right? Mm-hmm. And I had Sanchez was driving me. I mean, obviously, I really enjoyed working with you, and but like, what would be some of the people or a person that you really enjoyed?
Well, Mahler was like
it's like your sidekick, dude.
Well, we were each other's sidekick. Yeah. In a way, like we even lived together for a little bit. Like
that's right.
We had an apartment together over off Irelite.
Right up here.
Or not Irelite, View.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we'd respond to calls together and all that stuff, and he was just dependable. Like,
dude, totally.
He was just. I'd have to calm him down a few times, like he would be like, "Oh, like bro, you can't be like out of breath before we get there," but he was excited.
Yeah, totally.
I valued that excitement because I knew like he's like, whatever we need to do, and I'm like, that's the fucking person I want to work with, and that he actually, like later in my professional career, it was like people that operated like that were the people I liked to work with, because they're just like, let's just get it. Yeah. Let's just get it. Like,
you didn't have to motivate them. They were self-motivated.
Him and Sanchez, both of them. It would be like one of the times that like the most yelling and screaming that would ever take place in that bay was when we all showed up at the same time for a fire, and like you and I are divvying out rig assignments, right? Like, okay, Mahler, I need you to drive, and Sanchez, you take the 8 rig or whatever. He's like, no, I'm driving the engine. Like, no, man, I need you on the 8 rig. Like, nope, I'm not going anywhere unless I'm driving the engine. Like, bro, you're seriously not going to go on this call? Like, nope. Like those kind of fights or whatever. But like, it to me, because I went on so many calls, it was, I valued the people that I went on calls with.
Yeah.
And Mahler was one of those people that was just, he was really dependable.
Yeah. I always liked to the state, getting to the station in my mind was to race Billings.
Yeah.
Right. Because he lived right down the street. I live right up the street.
Yeah. But Billings had to come in full uniform every time.
He did. And he was
one of those ones that set that standard.
He's running up the hill, buttoning up his Class B. You know, he had the Nomex, right? He had the Nomex one. And I always liked that. The three, we had the 3 amigos, me, you, and Billings.
No, that was before me.
That was before. Oh, it was me. It was me,
Matt
Billings, and Matt Black.
Yeah,
that is the 3 amigos.
Yeah,
That's right. It was me, and then when Jonathan Tinsley, I still hope to someday find the picture of me and Jonathan Tinsley at the dump truck rollover on Ketron Island.
Yeah,
and somebody wrote, and I love that board. That board was incredible of our Polaroid pictures from the calls. And somebody wrote on that one, SHS cheerleaders. That was cool.
Those Polaroid pictures were the best. Remember, like we had those up in our little volunteer office.
In the volunteer office, yep.
I have some. I'll dig them out, but I don't know if I have that one. But I actually have a Polaroid camera, so you and I are going to take Earl come in and take a picture of us.
Cool.
With because I like.
Yeah.
Let's have a Polaroid because it's.
Did you remember? So a couple things I think we did really well, including everybody was included. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody was included. Like if you wanted to be part of the volunteer group at Steilacoom, you were included, and that was from like day one when you came in, your first call. Everybody got a Polaroid of their first call, right? Mm-hmm. And we put it up on the wall, and that was awesome. And then, like, just kind of memorializing for memory some of the calls that we would go on and we get those Polaroids, I think was such a good, such a great thing to do to bring people in and to say you are part of the team. And and if you took a picture and you wanted of a call that you went on and you wanted to put up on the wall, it went up on the wall. And I love that because I still think of some of those calls and some of those incidents that we had were just super, super great. And I think we did some really great things to build the team.
Yeah, it wasn't just the fire skill building, it was the people building.
Yeah.
Like the character building, right?
Yeah.
That we didn't intentionally know we were doing.
Exactly. Like we didn't, you were talking about how like some leadership things are difficult and you don't even know, but you're forced into this spot and you're like, I'm 20 years old and I've never been in charge of anything, but now I'm in charge of this whatever.
I'm literally in charge of life and death.
You're right.
You know? Like,
yeah. And then there's some things that just like somehow naturally happened. And that really fed into building that team. And I think that's where some of our greatest successes were, honestly.
Yeah.
And one of them, another one that I really liked too, was the nickname. It wasn't always perfect.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't always, it didn't always go over perfectly. But when we did the nicknames, yes. When we did the nicknames, and then we did
We don't need to discuss why I have the name Deuce right now.
No, but we found this picture
Yeah.
of the old, I think that's a Ford fire engine in front of the town hall, and then we made these name tags for everybody's locker.
Put 'em on the locker.
And then everybody got a locker, everybody got a name tag, and it was uniform. And then when we ran out of lockers, we got those hooks on the side. We did the same thing. And so it wasn't like somebody got a nickname and somebody didn't.
Yeah.
Everybody got a nickname.
Yep.
And it wasn't a negative thing. It was just meant to be like a team thing, to be funny. Yeah. It was also funny too, right?
It was.
And so, yeah, dude, this is awesome. I can't believe that. Oh man, I wish I had this. I wish I had mine. That was super cool.
Flip that over.
Oh.
That's it right there.
A response area from Wilkes and Lafayette. Balch Street, 100.
You remember if we had the rig downtown,
this was
you
where
would cover this area. If you had the rig up at the station, you'd cover this area, and we'd rotate shifts.
Puyallup from 200. That's the 100 blocks.
Yeah.
And then the schedule of events.
Yeah.
Dude, look at that.
I got a whole box of this stuff. I basically wanted to make sure all the shit worked while we did this new trial run on the inside here. But like next time you come over, that's what we'll do. I'll just pull out all this old shit that I have, and we'll look through it all.
And we made it pocket size.
Yeah.
So you could put it in your pocket.
Right in the front of your Class B. It goes in your breast pocket.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's awesome.
It's crazy to like think back of like what we did accomplish at such a young age with all of that stuff going on.
And we made and I remember I had my what they called them, floppy disks, but they were the little discs like this that are dude, how do you have all yes one of these?
Yeah, look what it says. It's getting hired. This is like, this had my resume.
Dude, this was
all of my stuff on it.
Prior to thumb drives. Yeah. This is what you carried around.
I should show that to my son and ask him if he knows.
Dude, you ask him. Do you even know what this is?
I did that with my daughters one time.
2HD?
Oh, I showed these to my daughters. Oh, one time. Yeah. I was like, you know what these are? And they didn't know.
Dude, 1.44 megabits.
Yeah. Yeah. You put 5 files on that bitch.
So, it was so much fun. Again, like to just be able to, no limits, just make whatever sheet we wanted to with whatever information. Yeah. And it was just like, hey, let's try and do this.
This was our plan for the day for 4th of July.
Yeah. Who's going to be where? Dude, that was so much fun. Crazy. And then you know what else took longer than the calls?
Oh, the fucking around afterwards. You almost got divorced like 6 times.
I don't know about that. That might be a little over the top, but yeah, dude, going back to the station and the 20-minute call, the 15 or 20-minute call, and then we get back to the station and write a report. And the report would take us an hour.
When we weren't, when it never needed to. But that actually primed me. We'd be sitting there. You remember all the cops' desks or whatever? We'd be sitting there writing a report. We'd steal one of their desks or whatever. But then we could hear the radio, and if you heard them on something, you'd be like, oh, let's hold tight a minute. We might be going somewhere.
Yeah.
Dude, so that carried over when I was in DuPont, especially when I had in my captain's office, I had like 3 radios playing all the time. Yeah. I was always listening to police because that's how we could jump calls. Yeah. Like that's how I knew stuff was going to be coming or whatever. And people would be like, that's a little much, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Like, but it was too much. Like, but I do that now. Like I have a radio up there, like you've heard it, but like, it's soothing to me to just listen to radio traffic for some reason. Like, but yeah, we'd fuck around there.
Well,
after
dude,
those
we would.
calls
I
and
mean,
just tell stories and
I remember
joke.
if we heard it on the radio, we'd change to the operational channel and
Yeah.
we'd listen to, like, we would dream of Lakewood. Like, oh, they got another apartment fire going. Maybe they'll call us.
Yeah, or maybe they'll get another fire
Yeah.
and
maybe
they'll have to rely on us.
they'll have to let us go.
Yeah.
Come to it. But yeah, I remember listening to the radio quite a bit.
The radio stuff actually, like, as much as I listened to it all the time, that translated to well, I mean, I taught a couple communication classes with like radio procedures and
Sure.
stuff, and then Shelley, you know, like, I just had lunch with her the other day, but like, there was a standard set there too, right? Like, radio communication was,
You knew it sounded good.
I took that very seriously.
Yeah, you knew it didn't sound good.
But because I took it so seriously, I felt like I became good and confident at it. So then you throw in your stuff here and there, which is like out of rhythm or out of the pattern, you know, like, I went out to DuPont the other day and I totally forgot about this, but Kelly, she's now the captain on C shift, my old shift. She was on my shift with me forever. And we went on this fire out on the spit below the bluff, you know, Silla Point area or whatever. And I didn't even remember doing it. She had to remind me, but she's like, yeah, you called it spit command. Like, yeah, we're gonna be on spit command. And like, it just those things where, and then knowing like Shelley and a lot of the dispatchers, you know, like you can hear the laughter in their voice or whatever. Like, but that all came from just lots of listening to the radio.
Absolutely.
Like knowing what worked and what didn't. And the people that don't talk well on the radio, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like, I still I'll listen to fires. Like, if the fire goes on, I'll turn it on and listen. Sometimes that's like I almost get a hard on like listening to good radio traffic. But bad radio traffic, I get like all sideways about, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, because it like, that's fundamental to everything. Like, communication, everything revolves around good communication.
Yeah, for sure. You know it's going to go bad if the initial communication's bad. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think, I don't know if I did tell you this or not, but like my son Seth, I know about fires because Seth texts me.
Yeah.
So like,
Seth would be a good fireman.
dude.
He's got the swagger. He's got the humor. Like,
did I tell you that both the boys came on ride-alongs with me?
Yeah.
And both of them, on their first call, had CPRs for both of them. One was on South Hill. One was down in Graham, where they were doing the ride-alongs at 72 and 95.
Mm-hmm.
But for both of them, they had their first calls were both CPRs, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But
how did they respond to that?
They did really well. Yeah, we talked about it like right afterward. We talked about it after that, and I think, you know, it was the one that Seth was on. It was at like a senior living place, and we were it was right at the front door, and this lady came up and said she was having, like, we're into the call a little ways, and she was having a hard time starting her car, and I was like, hey Seth, do you think you can go help her with that? And he went and helped her, you know. He went and helped her with this lady starting her car out in the parking lot, you know. And no, I think they're both very interested in it, and have taken a couple tests, but they're both wanting to finish college first. And but anyways, I think they would both be good at it for different reasons, you know. But anyways, no, I thought it was interesting in that. Oh, back to I had my phone and the pulse point on with if there's a CPR nearby.
Oh yeah.
And when Luke was there with me, and that went off, and I was like, "What is that noise?"
Yeah.
I'd never heard it before.
Yeah.
It was a different alarm.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Hey guys, we're going to get a CPR. It's like right around the corner from the station." So we were out in the rig when the tones went. So I thought that was cool. But Seth is, dude. And then he got whatever scanner app on his phone, and he's listening, and yeah, it was super fun. But that he's so excited about it, But he doesn't have, other than the scanner app, like he doesn't have the access to see like the call information. So he's asking, "Hey Dad, this fire's going on. What's happening? What is it?" So, but yeah, he's excited about that, about that. So, anyways, and Luke is too. And I think, like I said, they're different personalities, but I think they would both be really good for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I think one of the two of the reasons that I think that they would both do really well is that they're team players.
Yeah.
And they're competitive.
Yeah.
And they're competitive in different ways.
Yeah.
And that's where I think they would like it.
Well, for sure. That almost, the way you're describing it almost sounds like me and you, right?
Yeah, totally.
It
is. It totally is. Yeah.
But like the mission is the mission.
Yeah.
And like.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And they're both, this is one thing that I don't think I really, as a kid at their age, was.
Yeah.
I wasn't a put me in coach player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they both are,
That's team sports is like,
yeah.
I love my son. He's doing track right now,
right.
And like he did football this year. And I'm like, I don't care how good you are, but what you're learning from this experience is, I told him, I'm like, I still utilize the lessons I got from playing team sports to this day.
Yeah.
The stuff I learned in the classroom, not so much. You know what I mean? But like that stuff really fucking matters.
It does.
You have to know how to function with other people who have different personalities.
Yeah.
And move together for the same mission.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And once you feel that, I don't know. To me, once I felt that, I was like, I don't want to live in any other world.
Yeah. Yeah. And back to one of your points, you were talking about like, I wanted to wear, you want to wear the uniform, you want to be part of the team. I helped with a CPR class for the Steilacoom High School baseball coaching staff. And they all came into the room on a weekend day, and they're all wearing Steilacoom baseball gear. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, dude. And what am I wearing? I'm wearing a fire department t-shirt, And so one of the things that I want to talk to them and just thank them for being part of this and for being such a big part of my kids' lives in such formative years, and really encouraging them and driving them and pushing them in baseball. And I was like, man, I saw you guys wear your Steilacoom baseball gear, and it's because you want to be part of something bigger than yourself. It's that you want to participate, you want to be part of a team, you want to be part of a group. And I'm like, that's where I like wearing, fire department gear, whatever it is, going to work, putting on the uniform, putting on the gear, because you are part of that team.
Yeah.
And that's the representation of that. Absolutely.
Yes. Like this whole cubby over here, like these are football jerseys and t-shirts and like they're all uniforms. They're all uniforms I wore at one point or another.
Dude, that's crazy. I didn't see this.
To some degree. I can show it to you afterwards, but like,
did you buy some of these when they were selling them at the high school, or these are ones that you kept from?
Hey, look, if people didn't ask me to give shit back.
Oh, no. I'm not trying to say you should have. what I was wondering is because
I definitely jacked that fucking football helmet though.
oh
Yeah.
dude, the reason I was asking was I was at some basketball game. This was maybe a year or 2 years ago, and they were selling old basketball jerseys, and I found the ones that I wore when I was in high school. Like for some reason, they're still at Steilacoom High School. They have enough storage space to save jerseys from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is I like pulled up the yearbook picture and like confirmed that was the jersey. And they didn't have my number, but they had Garrett Winslow's number.
Oh.
And so I bought the one Garrett's jersey.
Yeah.
And I sent it to him.
You sent it to him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I was like, dude, this is cool.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think there's like the tangible part that draws your memories to that event and those events that happen around that item.
Yes.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
This is kind of like your place here.
That's, as I put all this together, I've thought over the years, I've had different spaces like this, of course. You know, I had a pretty good space on the island.
Yep.
Had
I remember.
Did you ever come up to my house on the island? But like when I was doing this time, it was like, oh, that's how you kept all this. Like look at all the stories you can tell now. Like this whole room is full of stories.
Yeah.
Like every little thing in here has its own story.
For sure.
And over the years, I thought like, you're crazy for keeping all of this stuff. Like nobody does. You're like a hoarder or whatever I label myself as.
Yeah.
You know, but like now, no. Like if anything, especially doing this, like this tells my story.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of these things in here is its own story. And like now that we make these videos or whatever, like this is like my kids will have this whether I'm here or not, you know. Like they get to hear my stories from me, you know, about and I can show, you know, tangible things like, this is my story. Here it is.
Yeah. That's wild. It's wild that you have a lot of this stuff, because I think I keep stuff, but I love how much stuff you have, but how organized it is. I mean, this is
everything is put in a place in a way. It's all in everything in here, and this is like this is the standard that we set for ourselves in Steilacoom. Everything I do is intentional.
Yeah.
There's no wasted movement. Everything is set in a way that like I put this there so that I could go grab it when it came up in conversation.
Yeah.
Everything is staged in a way that it's prepared. I know where my books are behind me. Like it's all intentional. And to move with intentionality, like that makes life purposeful. For me.
I love it. Well, Earl, I think man.
Yeah.
I love talking to you.
I know.
We could do this for another
almost 2.5 hours in. So like let's just do it regularly.
Dude, I love it.
Once a month.
Yeah, we got to circle back and make sure that we follow through with the Steilacoom fireman, firefighter, whatever, reunion.
We'll do some stuff on Facebook. There's a few people I've talked to about it. Mahler, Bobby Cedeno, Catherine. Dude,
we got to get Sanchez there.
Well, of course.
Dude, so I love Sanchez because I loved his energy.
Yes,
love that dude's energy, right? Like he was just this ball of energy, and it was just so different than like what I bring to any situation.
Yes.
But I loved his energy. And then Ken Gibbings was another one. I love Ken Gibbings. And
we need to get poker. We need to get a poker
dude,
night again.
And this is the way I would describe Ken Gibbings, is the big brother that I never had, that I had in Ken, that I have in Ken, right?
Yeah. Was
just like, man, man, what a great guy, what a great friend, what a great person to.
An intimidating looking human, but so gentle.
So gentle, so nice,
Yeah.
so kind. He's just such a kind,
For sure.
such a kind spirit, and that he has about him. And man,
It's is it on this one?
is he on one of those pictures?
No, it's actually, I have it somewhere else. There's a fire from that
From that training burn.
training bird.
Yeah, I got-
on Adams.
Yep.
Ken and I were on the same crew for that, and there's a couple good pictures
Yeah.
of he and I.
Yeah. I always really enjoyed volunteering with Ken. It was great.
All right.
There it is.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Till next time. See you, everybody.